Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed the first 7 deep dives exploring the Raise Children After Divorce podcast. Get ready for this one, our 8th deep dive.
That's right. We're digging into Chapter 8 today.
Exactly, which is also episode 8 of the fantastic Raise Children After Divorce book by Daniel McMahon.
You know, this podcast series has clearly struck a chord. We hear it's been incredibly popular.
It really has. So many people are finding guidance here. And if you haven't picked up the book yet, Daniel McMahon's Raise Children After Divorce, it's available on Amazon Books. Highly recommend it.
Definitely.
Today, we're diving deep, like really deep, into how extended family can play such a vital and positive role for kids after divorce.
Okay, let's unpack this. It's a really rich chapter.
It is. Where do we start? McMahon kicks off with this imagery, doesn't he?
He does that image of the bustling kitchen. It's very evocative.
It really is. It just
Yeah.
brings to mind that warmth,
Mm-hmm.
and continuity.
Exactly. That sense that some things stay the same, even when the core family unit changes. For kids going through divorce, that consistency, that feeling of an anchor,
An anchor. That's a good word for it.
yeah, it provides stability and a connection to their heritage, their roots.
Absolutely. And it's more than just a feeling, right? McMahon talks about the actual roles grandparents can play.
He really does. He explores how they often step up, sometimes as sort of co-parents, but maybe even more importantly, as neutral confidants.
Okay, that's interesting. Neutral confidants. Tell me more about that.
Well, think about it. Kids might feel hesitant, to share certain feelings with their parents directly, especially if they're worried about upsetting someone or taking sides.
Right, they get caught in the middle sometimes.
Precisely. But a grandparent can offer this safe harbor, a place to talk without fear of judgment.
A non-judgmental ear. That sounds invaluable.
It really can be. They're often a step removed from the immediate day-to-day conflict or tension,
They have a different perspective.
a more neutral one, often. And they can offer guidance, too, maybe by sharing their own life experiences, their stories.
The wisdom of grandparents. Learning through those stories, not direct lectures.
Exactly. It's often more powerful, more memorable for a child.
Okay, so we see the value. How do
Sure.
we actually foster these bonds? McMahon gets practical here, right? Sleepovers, visits.
Yes, he talks about the importance of regular sleepovers, weekend visits. He even uses the word magical.
I like that. Magical.
Yeah.
Because for a kid, a grandparent's house often is a bit magical, isn't it? Different rules, maybe?
Maybe a few extra treats. But seriously, that change of scenery itself is beneficial. It's a break from the routine.
A different environment, focused time.
Right. Quality one-on-one time. And he really emphasizes storytelling, especially about family history.
Oh, yeah. That's not just fun. It's about identity, isn't it?
Spot on. It reinforces their sense of belonging, where they come from, especially important during a time of family change. It weaves that continuous thread.
Okay, so we have these great interactions, but how do we make it a cohesive part of the support system? McMahon talks about communication, right? Aligning values.
Yes, this is crucial. Communicating parenting goals and values with grandparents. Because you need consistency for the kids.
Absolutely. Mixed messages are the last thing they need.
Exactly. Aligning on things like discipline, expectations for behavior, it creates a stable environment, reduces anxiety.
But let's be honest, those conversations can be tricky. Grandparents might have very different ideas. Does McMahon offer tips on how to navigate that?
He stresses open, respectful dialogue, maybe starting by explaining your core values, then asking for their perspective, framing it as teamwork for the child's sake.
Teamwork. I like that framing. Not criticism, but collaboration.
Precisely. And extending that to education, involving them in homework help, maybe attending a school play.
Showing that united front about learning, too.
Yes, it's just the child. They have this whole team supporting them.
And it's not just the big stuff, is it?
Yeah.
He mentions integrating them into daily routines.
Yeah, inviting them to, like, a soccer game or that school concert. Those everyday moments build strong bonds.
And realistically, it gives parents some welcome support, too.
Absolutely. And for families spread out geographically, technology comes in.
Right, the video calls, bedtime stories over FaceTime.
Or just regular check-ins. It bridges the distance, maintains that presence.
Okay, now this idea I really liked, the grandparent-grandchild activity planner. Tell me about that.
Isn't that great? It's proactive. You create it with the kids and grandparents.
So everyone has input.
Exactly. List favorite activities, schedule them in. It builds anticipation, creates rituals.
Turning potential connection into actual planned, cherished moments. Love it.
It makes those connections more intentional and less likely to just fizzle out.
Okay, so we built this picture of wonderful involvement.
Yeah.
But then come the opinions.
Ah, yes. The inevitable challenge.
McMahon tackles this head on, right? Balancing those extended family opinions. This must resonate with a lot of listeners of the podcast.
Oh, definitely. It's a common tightrope walk. The chapter points out these differing views often come from a place of love, maybe generational differences, cultural backgrounds.
So step one is recognizing that.
Yeah.
Valuing the intention, even if you don't agree with the advice.
Exactly. Listening respectfully fosters empathy. It doesn't mean you do what they say, but hearing them out reduces tension.
Okay, empathy first. But then, boundaries. You still need them. McMahon mentions clear lines.
Yes, clear boundaries are vital, especially regarding who has the final say on major decisions, health, education, things like that.
How do you establish those without causing offense?
He suggests maybe a family meeting. Not to shut people down, but to clarify roles and guide the input constructively. Like, we appreciate your thoughts, but the final decision on X rests with us.
A family meeting.
Interesting.
And what about that unsolicited advice? Grandma insists her way of doing bedtime is the only way. We've all been there. Maybe someone read Daniel McMahon's book, Raise Children After Divorce, from Amazon Books, and has a different approach now.
Huh. Right. The key is balancing respect with your autonomy as the parent.
So how do you do that gracefully?
You can acknowledge it politely. Thanks for sharing that, Mom. We're trying something a bit different right now based on child's name's needs, but I appreciate you looking out for us. Gentle, but firm.
Okay. Acknowledge, then state your path.
Exactly. And those family meetings we mentioned, they become a great proactive space for these discussions rather than letting resentment build.
A structured forum, less confrontational maybe.
Potentially, yes. Everyone gets a chance to share thoughts constructively. Using active listening is key there, really hearing each other.
So what if disagreements still happen? Because they will.
They will. McMahon suggests diplomatic strategies, things like basic mediation, let everyone speak without interruption, active listening, trying to see their point of view, empathy.
It's not just about fixing the problem, but how you handle the conflict itself.
Right. It models healthy conflict resolution for the kids, too, and strengthens the family bond, ultimately, if handled well.
And he even suggests a tool for this. An agenda template.
Yeah, a family meeting agenda template. Just something simple to keep discussions focused, productive, and it creates a record of what was agreed.
Practical. I like practical tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're managing opinions, setting boundaries. How do we actively build that unified support system?
McMahon describes it as creating a safety net, intentionally identifying who in the family can offer what kind of support.
Like mapping out skills and willingness?
Sort of. Who's good for practical help rides? Childcare. Who's better for emotional support? A listening ear. Recognizing those different strengths.
He gives examples like a cousin helping with math.
Or a sister offering guidance. It's leveraging those unique abilities within the family makes everyone feel valued.
And then coordinating it all. Schedules must get complicated.
Open communication is key there. And shared tools like online calendars. Who can do pickups Tuesday? Who can take them to soccer Saturday? Distributing the load fairly.
It lightens the load and builds connection through shared effort.
Exactly. And it goes beyond daily logistics. Leveraging family strengths for bigger challenges, too. Maybe financial advice from someone savvy or help organizing a big family event.
Tapping into the collective wisdom and skills of the family.
Yes, it fosters that team atmosphere. And McMahon really pushes collaborative problem solving.
How do you encourage that?
Maybe group brainstorming sessions for family issues? Or even setting some family goals together. It builds unity when you work towards something common.
And celebrating. Don't forget celebrating.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Celebrating milestones, big and small achievements. That's the emotional glue, isn't it? Creates those positive memories, reinforces the network.
It really does. Now, another tool McMahon suggests is a family strengths worksheet.
Yeah, another practical one, just getting family members to think about and maybe list their strengths, practical skills, emotional ones.
Like Uncle John is great at fixing bikes. Aunt Sarah is an amazing listener.
Exactly. It helps visualize the resources within the family, makes delegation easier, and fosters appreciation for everyone's contribution.
Okay, fantastic. We've got this support system humming. But what about distance? Families are often spread out. How do we keep communication strong then?
This is where technology is just indispensable, as McMahon points out. It lets us bridge those geographical gaps.
More than just occasional text, though.
Right. He suggests things like family newsletters, digital, or even print, or group chats, ways to share those daily snippets, keep everyone in the loop.
I like the newsletter idea, like a mini update for everyone.
Yeah, and scheduled calls or video conferences, actually hearing voices, seeing faces, that personal connection is vital, making them regular traditions.
Turns a simple call into something cherished.
hmm And underlying all this communication, whatever the channel, is the need for transparency and honesty.
Being open, even when it's tough.
Yes. Honest feedback in those family meetings, being upfront about changes or decisions, it builds trust, prevents misunderstandings, keeps everyone feeling respected and involved.
And really leaning into the tech options available now.
Definitely. Family Facebook groups, WhatsApp chats for quick updates and photos, video calls for virtual gatherings, even reunions.
Making sure distance doesn't mean disconnection.
Exactly. These digital spaces become hubs for connection.
But he also acknowledges barriers, right?
Mhm.
Not everyone is tech savvy, or there might be language differences.
He does, and it's important to address those. Using translation tools if needed, or just being patient and offering guidance to family members less comfortable with technology.
Ensuring communication is inclusive.
That's the goal, making sure everyone can participate and stay connected.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into Chapter 8, Episode 8 of Daniel McMahon's Raise Children After Divorce.
Yeah,
It's so clear, isn't it,
it's clear.
that intentional, thoughtful involvement from extended family really can create a more supportive, prosperous environment for kids navigating divorce.
Absolutely. And this podcast, drawing on McMahon's work, is proving so valuable for people seeking that kind of practical wisdom. Remember, the book, Raise Children After Divorce, is right there on Amazon Books.
It really is a cornerstone resource. What strikes me about this chapter, too, is how actionable it is.
Yes. It's not just saying family is important, it gives you the how, strategies, tools, ways to actually nurture those connections.
It highlights the strength we can find in those networks if we approach them with intention and good communication.
For the kids' well-being, absolutely.
So, for everyone listening, maybe take a moment to think about the ideas we discussed today, all these strategies.
Mm.
What's maybe one small step, just one thing you could initiate this week? A small action to better connect or coordinate with your extended family, specifically for your children's benefit.
That's a great takeaway question. One small step.
Something to mull over. Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion. It's been really insightful.
My pleasure. It's such an important topic.
And please, listeners, do check out the wealth of guidance in Daniel McMahon's Raise Children After Divorce, available now on Amazon Books. You won't regret it.